Seeking English, S.A.T. Workbook, page 418, problem 4. This is take 22 of this video, mostly because of noise. I am in Bogota, Colombia, and if you check the date on which this video was published, you might see why there is a lot of noise. So I'm just going to ask you to bear with me to try to ignore the noise in take 22 of this video. Okay, problem 4, it says, Randall leases a car for 3 years at a rate of $4,000 per year, plus a mileage charge. For every 1,000 miles the car is driven beyond 30,000 miles, there's a charge of $100. If Randall's total charge at the end of the 3-year lease is $12,800, how many miles was the car driven? Okay, so I might do, for various reasons, I might do another version of this video. One of them is the order in which the information is given to you in the problem. It may not be a good fit for how you like to tell yourself the story as an equation. And so I'm going to show you how I prefer to do it, and your preferred way might also be a legitimate way. So we can treat that in another video if you request that. In the meantime, my preference by default is to try to tell the story in chronological order, or to go from the known to the unknown. But either way, in this case, I think it's going to work pretty well if we're careful. This is where the story begins. Randall signs a lease agreement, and he's going to lease the car for 3 years, and for each of those 3 years, he has to pay $4,000. So first thing I'm going to put on the board is 3 years times $4,000, okay? And I'm not going to simplify that until I have the rest of my story together, okay? Not because it's inevitably confusing, but because it's potentially confusing. Okay, if it seems potentially confusing to you while you're doing it as an exercise, it will seem a lot more potentially confusing to you on the test. Okay, normal people get confused in ways that they never imagine they're going to get confused on the test. You need to have strategies to prevent your own confusion on the test, not because you're an easily confused person, but because tests are an easy place to get confused. So, 3 years, 4,000 miles. For the time being, we're going to leave it. Try to get the whole story. Try to get the whole story on the board before we start moving things around, trying to solve for the unstated item, the unknown. Okay, that's what he's going to pay. If he signs, he has to pay that. That much is known. It's fixed. Okay. The part that is less clear is what he's going to pay. In addition to that, if he drives the car up to 30,000 miles, he's not going to pay anything else. If he drives more than that, he's going to have to pay something. So the number of miles for which he has to pay is going to be the total number of miles that he drives. That's an M. Minus the 30,000 miles that he gets for free. Okay? Make sure that you understand this before we go on. That's not what he pays. That's what he pays for. It's the number of miles. Okay? This is an amount of money. This is a number of miles. To get the amount of money that he has to pay for these, we have to pay that. We have to calculate what he pays per mile and multiply it by that. What does he pay per mile? It says, for every 1,000 miles the car is driven beyond the 30,000 miles, there's a charge of $1,000. Now, this may be obvious to you or it may not. If you find yourself confused on the test at a similar point, this is my suggestion. Look at it in the two possible ways. It can only be one of these, right? Okay, 1,000 over 100 and 100 over 1,000. One of these is the correct expression, one is not. And today it may seem obvious to you. On the test, maybe less obvious. So the way to look at it is this. You know it has to be one of these. Is he paying a number larger than 1 or smaller than 1 per mile? Is he paying more than $1 per mile, or is he paying less than $1 per mile? It says, for every 1,000 miles, he pays $100. So the number, so he's paying less than $1 per mile. And so you want a number smaller than 1. This is the number that is smaller than 1. Okay? And I'm going to suggest again, don't simplify it yet. Okay? You'll be less confused before you go on to the next step if you don't simplify it. And just leave this here. Okay? It's 100 over 1,000. Okay? That's the rate that he pays per mile. Okay? You're going to multiply that by the number of miles that he has to pay for. And that is going to be added to the base rate that he has to pay whether he drives the car or not. It says at the end of the process he pays, or sorry, yes, he pays $12,800. $12,800 is what he pays. So what we want to do is we want to get the m all by itself. Okay? We want to get the m all by itself. That means some things are going to have to move from this side of the equation to that side. Before we do that, I suggest they're going to be easier to move if we simplify them first. Okay, so this becomes 12,000 with no bracket. See how much simpler that expression is? 12,000. Okay, I can't really simplify that. This I can simplify by taking out a bunch of zeros. Okay, put that 1 over 10 for the time being. I know the next step. You're already thinking of it. Good for you. Okay, from there, obvious thing is I can take this 12,000 over here by subtracting it. Comes 800 over here. And many of you may feel that you are done with a problem at this point. Okay, don't spoil it for everyone else. Okay, there's that. I'm going to erase this. From there, this 1/10 here, I can move that to the other side by multiplying by 10. It becomes 8,000. Okay. And I no longer need that other bracket. Okay. And if I add 30,000 to both sides, then m is all by itself. Okay, it becomes 38,000 equals m. Okay, I know but that's what it is. So looking again at the answers, possible answers are 8,000, 30,800, 38,000, and 118,000. And I calculated 38,000, which again is one of answers B and C and not answers A and D. Count them. Count them if you don't believe me on this point. Okay. The interior answers, I believe, are more likely. Okay. So the answer 8,000 seems to be a risk that people run if they forget to move the 30,000. Okay. That 30,000 miles that he gets for free are not accounted for in answer A. Okay. Answer B, the 30,000 are accounted for, but I guess somebody forgot to multiply by 10 from the 800, which seems like a normal enough kind of error. The 38,000 is the correct answer, and this last answer, this answer, 118,000, is really confusing to me. I don't see any obvious way that somebody would get that answer. So as always, if you got that very strange wrong answer, don't feel bad about it. You're going to help me a lot by telling me how you did that. Thanks.